What's up, BB Besties? I have a live feed update today.
Hey, BB friends, here's a quick update.
Welcome to the Girl Gab podcast. Join your hosts, Allie and Nikki, as they break down the latest in pop culture, TV, and whatever else they feel like gabbing about. Girl Gab starts now.
Hey guys, we're back and welcome back to the Girl Gab podcast. I'm Allie.
I'm Nikki.
And we are really excited to be back. This is season 2. If you're a season 1 listener, welcome back. If you've never listened at all, this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We just sit here and we gab about all kinds of things. But because both of us are reality TV fanatics, we typically gab about reality TV. We had to take a little bit of a break during Big Brother season. We kind of talked about Big Brother on season 1, but once we rolled into Big Brother times, we knew that it was best to cut the season at that point and then come back for season 2. So that's what we're doing. And I guess the reasoning for that is just because we were too busy. We both do live feed, so it would have been overwhelming.
And even though we're not going to talk about Big Brother today, these people have been keeping us busy. It's been an exhausting season, to say the freaking least. So I can't wait for the season to be over so we have some more free time.
I cannot wait for it to be over. Specifically Cheat Man's. I'm ready for that to come full circle. I'm also ready for Riley to attend the finale that he is insisting that he will be attending.
Yes. There's actually, I feel like for season 26, there was not a lot of like drama to necessarily follow postseason. These people are going to have us in a chokehold even after the season is over because of all the drama and fallout that is going to be coming. So they cannot give us a break. They're terrible.
For sure.
In more ways than one, they're terrible.
For sure. I remember last year having people message me or comment back on videos being like, hey, like, what's going on with these people, like, after a month or so? I'm like, I guess I could have given you an update. But the things to update were just, like, chemo and T-Core hanging out. And, like, it was just hangout sessions.
Yeah, it wasn't really juicy. It was more just, like, generalized updates to where, like, these people...
Juice. Blame it on the juice. Wait, speaking of hangout sesh, did you see that our 2 Filipino men are hanging out together? BB?
I did. It finally happened. Zach did finally give in to what I'm sure was several requests.
Relentless. I don't know, because I know on the live he did with Angela, he said that there was already requests to like do a pickleball thing with him. And he was like, it's a charity thing. So like, I'm going to do it. He lives close. And then I later saw that like Matt wasn't able to be at the thing. So it didn't happen. So I think they were always going to meet up, but Angela was insisting that she do a TikTok with him before he do a TikTok with the other one. So,
I'm so glad because honestly, I fully expected by him getting evicted on Thursday, I was fully expecting to see them on a TikTok live together by Friday evening.
Matter of fact, I think Angela said the same thing when she went on RHAP. I think she was actually on the RHAP live after show.
Yes, that's right.
Same episode or something, and she was like, I know exactly where he's going.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, she was. So I was surprised. I'm surprised he lasted this long. I mean, Zach went out pretty early and it just happened this week. So he held out for a while, but yeah.
So do we think moving forward, every first boot will be befriending that man, that random man from Atlanta?
Until people quit giving that idiot attention, it's going to keep happening because what else are first boots going to do for clout?
You know who really gives him way more attention and I'm shocked about sometimes is Chelsea. And I get that she's friends with Mackenzie, but she really has disappointed me in some of the things I've heard her say. Like when she went on his podcast, she was giving him all this credit that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I also need to know, why are they long distance again? Did Mackenzie run out of that $75,000 and she can't afford their rent anymore and she had to go back home?
A question we may never get answered.
This is not acceptable in the year of 2025. If you have an obituary, I don't care what it is. If you're putting out information, we need the full coverage. You can't just spring it on us on a get ready with me to go see my long distance boyfriend after making it very clear that you moved in with him and spent the entire year making content with the guy.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it hasn't even really been a full year. They broke that lease early,
Yep. Yep.
or she did, and he's still there.
Do
I
they
don't
do
know.
6-month leases? I've never been, like, in a big city like
Perhaps,
that.
perhaps. All I'm saying is I've really been considering maybe her K was running dry, and she was like, maybe I should actually get a real job. This content creation is not panning out, and she's working with her dad again at their construction company.
Honestly, I've been surprised that she hasn't gotten more deals just because she is, like, a pretty person. You know what like, she is the typical influencer look. So I have been surprised that she hasn't had more opportunities than what she's had. So I don't know. Maybe
Some of
she's
these
just
people,
not as interested.
I think some of these people get them on Instagram, and you and I don't fuck with Instagram like that.
Mm-mm.
I think maybe that's where they get more of their deals. I've also heard Facebook where it's at.
Yeah, I think they've upped their stuff lately.
Meta. They're trying to come for TikTok.
Same.
So aside from Big Brother, I guess, well, just to wrap up the Big Brother thing, we're both really excited, like I said before, to see Riley show up at the finale. I know that. And then the
But
cheat man's
also,
is something you and I have talked about a lot.
just to add clarification to what you just said, we're just excited for Riley to be there for Mess. We're not like Riley fans. I just need to clarify that for everyone that maybe hasn't followed us on TikTok this season. I just need to set the record straight there.
Good one, my friend. Yes, we do not condone the behavior. And while Vince, I don't think is on any sort of Riley spectrum, he is on the it's always the unemployed ones spectrum, and
Yes.
he's on the audacity spectrum. So, speaking of which, I just want to say this about Vince, and then we can totally move away from Big Brother. The actual audacity of this man last night in his DR session to say, shout out Kelsey, I love you and I miss you.
Wild.
And the audacity of production to not mute them the same way that they did Suri and Jared all season long.
Mhm.
Anywho, Kelsey, Kinsey, very similar names actually. That man has some audacity. Then I think it was quite clear. I haven't gotten to talk to anybody about this yet, so I'm very excited to say this. I don't know about you, but I did stay up watching those live feeds, and I did notice that Vince got a letter from his father, and it was approximately 4 sentences. Like, he even turned it around. I was like, "Oh, that was shorter than I thought it was." Morgan did get her HOH basket, and she got a letter from her mom, and it was like very heartfelt, very nice, very sweet. Vince's dad was like, I have to send something so that you can stay on the show. Don't wanna ruin my son's opportunities, but, like, also, we're not sure about you right now, son. So, that
You're a
was
disappointment in
also,
more
his
ways
dad's
than
probably
one.
hoping he gets money, right? Like,
Yeah.
"Can you move out of my basement, please?"
Yep.
So, that was weird, and I believe that I have had ideas that Morgan and Vince all season long maybe were like, when the cameras go down, when they're locked in the HOH room and stuff, and they can talk about non-game stuff, just not game stuff, and
Are
a
we
lot of
jumping into
times
the options?
yeah, I think that they're talking about things because
Mhm.
when we were I think all season long it's been hard for us to figure that out because there were so many people, we don't have one big alliance. So all season long, you constantly had multiple people. So there were a lot of times, a conversation or two that we didn't get to hear. They could easily pan away because a lot of times you have like a bunch of people in the backyard and then one or two in the house, and they kind of. But this year, it's not been that way. It's been like 2 and 3 people.
Pairs everywhere.
Because you're
Yep.
live. I don't know why I have to tell you. I feel like I'm just telling the people. I guess I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So
I do.
I'm thinking that there is more that we didn't hear them talk about when they were, 1, in those lockdowns, and 2, when the cameras were on them, because last night it became very obvious to me because I was like, "Okay, are they fighting and they don't want us to hear this fight right now?" And then when the feed came back on them, because they cut the camera away from the HOH room for quite some time, and some of mind you, they're the only ones awake, so they're cutting it to put the camera on, like,
Sleeping
sleeping
Keanu.
people. Yes. So my dog is like whining. I don't know if you can hear this, but it's very obnoxious. He's begging for me to let him in. Sleeping Keanu. Yeah. So they put the feeds on other shit and then they finally bring them back and they're talking in code. And it's a code that I really haven't heard before. So I don't know if this started when the feeds were down for that extended period of time. I don't know when this code came about, but I actually am kind of thinking it was developed when the feeds were off. I think that they eased into, I don't know. I don't know what you heard, but I heard them be like essentially after this October
A lot of conversations about October, and there was a lot of
future.
Vinny had to have given some kind of an offer of some kind, because Morgan was like, "Is this a real offer or am I being gamed right now? Is this a way to
Yeah.
try and
I did
game me?"
hear, yes, I remember them talking about, well, this is like beyond the game.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It got real uncomfy for me. And then
Yeah.
finally she like went and did laundry and did things. And I was
'Cause
like, thank God it's over.
here's my thing with the cheap mans, just real quick before we wrap up, is it was fun to laugh and joke about the cheap mans before, like, when it was more so speculation of, like, will they, won't
Sure.
they? Now that it's a full-on cheat mans at this point, like, he is what even though depending on what your physical boundaries are, for me, my physical boundaries would have been crossed at this point, but people are all different, but emotionally, boundaries were crossed a couple
Hmm.
weeks ago. So I don't find it as fun to watch anymore. Now that it's like a
Yes.
full-blown cheat mance and not more just like a is it or isn't it? Is this real? Is this not real? Are they just like really weird friends or is it not like it's not as fun anymore. I think it's very uncomfortable to watch it play out.
I don't think it's fun for the house either. And I don't know why they
Yeah,
don't ask them more about this. Kelly though, she doesn't care to ask. She'll just sit you down and go, so what's up with you and Morgan? And he's like,
right.
what do you mean? Okay,
You know
you
what we
mepper.
mean.
Yeah. And he said something about what, the arguing? She goes, yeah, that, but in the HOH. And he's like, well, we argue all night, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and so she just sleeps up here, which
He
is
acts like
also accurate, actually.
yes, but he acts like she has a 30-minute commute back to her bed. It is a few steps away. It's down the stairs and a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, so his exit interviews, I just so wish. First, in some ways, I hope he goes to final two just because I know he'll get live
Same.
face-to-face exit interviews and they won't be the written in ones.
Yep. Yep. That's
And
the
they'll
only
be,
reason that I'm rooting for Vince for
but I
final
don't know
two
that they'll be that
because
good because they won't be immediate. Like he'll have a chance. If Riley goes to the finale, are they gonna kick him out of the after party? Or are they gonna allow him there? They're gonna allow him.
they'll allow him.
Yeah, but some of the house guests don't want anything to do with him. Like Adrian has been very open about how like, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Like I just don't have anything to reach out to him about. Same with Jimmy. Zach though has spoken with him and a few others. I forget who else. Somebody else did.
Catherine, Mickey,
It was one of the guys,
Zay.
of course.
Yeah,
The one that's
that's
been
not
selling his
surprising.
underwear and feet pictures.
Yeah, that one's not surprising at all.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm interested to see what comes of the after party. I know some of the former house guests have already confirmed, like I think Angela said she was gonna go. A
Quinn's
few of
going.
the Quinn's going, several have confirmed. So I'm excited to see the finale. I'm excited to see what comes of the exit press. I'm nervous that anyone that came and watched from Love Island is just we've lost them.
Yeah. I will
And
say
I hate this. This happens all the time. Whenever I
every
convince somebody
time.
to watch, I don't convince anyone to watch Big Brother anymore because I'm like, you know what? We're okay being a close knit community because we don't need your negativity. We have enough of our own.
Literally. I literally made a video at the beginning of the season that I was like, I will not try and convince you to watch because I want it to be a good season. Still didn't work. We're still where we are. But I will say there was someone in my live last night and they were like, this is my very first season watching and it's not been good, but I can tell that there's potential for this show. So like, what are some seasons I can go back and watch to like see the good of the show?
We
And I
had
was
an
like, let me
optimist
give you a
amongst us.
list
Yes,
because you are correct.
anyone who DMs me saying that they're new and asking about either Survivor or Big Brother, always when I see it, I always respond with the regular ones.
Yeah.
Unless they tell me something specific that they like to see in shows and I can think of something else. But I always say 6, 7.
10, 12.
It's okay. That's enough about Big Brother. if you are a person that's going to be watching other reality TV shows, there's other stuff that we talk about. I am a huge Dancing with the Stars fan. Nicolette is definitely watching this year. I
No,
know
I
you've been on
watch.
and off. You've been on and
No,
off with watching it,
yeah,
right?
I watch pretty consistently. I just typically don't really talk about it like on my socials or anything, but this year I'm talking about it on socials. That's really the only thing that's changing.
Well, I think you and I talked about this before, and before we were consistently talking about TV on our socials, we were the type of viewers on things like Dancing with the Stars that once the person we watched for is gone, we just stop watching.
Correct. Yeah, I would kind
Now
of
that
fall
I
off
talk about it,
unless
I feel more committed.
yes, but the only other thing that would like bring me back in for an episode is like a certain theme that I would be like,
Sure.
"Oh, I really want
Like
to watch that
Wicked this
theme."
year, for me, it would be Wicked. Like if the people that I
Yeah,
wanted go before that, I would still tune back in for the Wicked
right.
week that they're doing. Yeah, so and then you're a Swiftie, so you're excited for Jan. However, you made some comments about how you're not sure about his coaching style because he's more
I'm
contemporary, right?
Yeah, I'm more so worried about like his choreography. And I think
Mm,
we kind of did get a little bit of that here in the first week of like some of the hesitations that I have with him.
mm.
He is a phenomenal lyrical and contemporary choreographer. Like he has done some beautiful pieces in that genre of dancing. But when it comes to Dancing with the Stars, you get maybe one of those dances a season. So that's where I have a lot of reservations about like full send rooting for Jan, is because I need to see what he can do with all the other styles of dancing. And I think his choreography fell flat this week with the first week because it was so lift heavy and like trying to basically do too much, but not in a dance way, in like a trick way. And I don't need all the tricks. I need actual choreography. So
What I don't need is all the gimmicks. So I'm okay with gimmicks on night one. I'll give an example. Last year, Daniela with uh Dwight. He was extremely tall, she's extremely short, and she played on that for, like, 3 to 4 weeks until
yep.
people on the internet finally were like, "Okay, we're done watching this." I didn't like it. I didn't like him just, like, holding her. I didn't like it. It looked very strange to me. It felt like he was holding a child. I was uncomfortable watching that, and I hoped that she would, like, stop.
Mhm.
And then she did
Mhm.
it, like, 2 more weeks in a row, and then finally, I think more people, like, on the internet were like, "Okay, like, we're done with the lift,"
Enough.
and she
Yeah.
finally stopped doing it. So, like, that's an example of, like, how sometimes they take stuff too far with the gimmicks. I do think they'll stop doing that more quickly because Derek made it clear that they're not gonna
Yeah.
they're not gonna give them like, 8s for no reason this year on night 1, and they didn't. Um I don't know. That's my only reservations is I hope they cut the gimmicks. I do agree with you about the gun thing. I did notice that he was doing way too many lifts. And he was doing a dance that he was allowed to have lifts in. It wasn't like they were illegal lifts, but
I
I
know, but
did,
just imagine if Carrie Ann actually would have been there, she would have, even though they were legal, she still would have been like, I know you're new here, so let me set you straight real quick on the lifts.
yeah. I don't know, because she's never consistent. Is she a Swiftie? Because if she is, she probably wouldn't be consistent with him. She's like that, though. Sometimes she
Mhm.
calls it, sometimes she doesn't. I'm like, if you're gonna be lift police for everybody. But yeah, no. So we both know that Robert Irwin is going to be winning the season. So we're not exactly holding our breath here, but we both really enjoy Mark Ballas, and obviously, like you enjoy Jan just from his dancing capabilities that you've already seen. I'm trying to think who else we like.
I like Val
Well, I really like Val
sometimes.
too. I like Val too.
Mark's my favorite. And honestly, that I was really, really excited to see him back this season. Like super excited.
Yeah.
Mark has been my favorite since the beginning.
Yes, and speaking of
Love.
Mark, he is on The Traitors, which is another show that
Yes.
we will be covering. So right now, we're Dancing with the Stars just started. Next week, Survivor starts. We will be talking about that on our social medias, and so it'll pop in on these Girl Gab chats. What else do we
The Amazing Race
TAR? So The
also
Amazing
starts
Race,
next week.
The Amazing Race, the one that is all Big Brother people, also starts next week. I will be watching 99 to Beat. That's on Fox, but I probably won't get to watch it till like I'll watch it on Hulu after the fact. I also will watch the Special Forces show on Fox, which I probably won't watch it till it's on Hulu because I'm worried about watching stuff on Fox for obvious reasons. But I want to see Cody Brown get yelled at, and that's my motivation. I've also heard Gia and Teresa Giudice talking mad shit on him already. Now he's not a team player, and I'm like, Cody
Shocking.
Brown? Not a team player? What?
I could potentially watch that. This might come as a little bit of a shock, but aside from Big Brother, Special Forces is Colby's favorite reality show. She will watch it constantly because
I had
she
never even heard of it until when they said, first of all, Randall Cobb caught my eye, for obvious reasons. Kentucky runs through my blood. But I saw Randall Cobb and I was like, is that Randall Cobb on a TV show? Because he's been pretty like locally, I've seen him a lot locally, just like different podcasts he's doing, because he's pretty famous for saying, like, people ask him like, oh, is your son, because he's got kids, he's like, oh, is your son playing football? And he's like, no, I played football, so my kids don't have to. And like, so he's like getting a lot of notoriety right now for just being like kind of like anti-sport parent, not anti-sports as far as like, I'm sure his kids probably play sports at home. And he's like anti-pushing them,
yeah.
So I saw him and I was like, and then I was like, Jesse Smollett, and then I was like, I'm in. Like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Sean Johnson, I'm in. So I will be watching this year, and Colby will have to fill me in on her opinions.
Yeah, she'll have to let you know, because honestly, sometimes I find it kind of boring, if I'm being honest. Like, it's one of those things where
Yeah.
she's like, can we watch this show together? And I'm like, sure. And we turn it on, and then I'm
On
in
your
the
phone.
room, but
Yeah.
not
Kids
fully
like that
paying
kind of
attention.
stuff. Like, my kid likes like that American Ninja Warrior thing.
Mhm.
They just like that kind of stuff. Or like The Wall, where
Yeah.
they had to like
Back in the day, Wipeout.
wipe out. Is that not still a thing?
I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know.
But yeah, so we both really do the Amazing Race, the Survivor. I will be doing, I guess me and Colby will be doing we'll be doing Special Forces. I'm gonna watch 99 to Be. I think you should give it a chance too, just based on my interview I did with Tommy Bracco from BB21. He is on that with his dad. And he also mentioned on my interview, shout out to that interview, go watch it on YouTube. He also mentioned that his dad was really close to being on, oh my gosh, what show was it? Not The Amazing Race.
Wasn't it Traders?
The Circle. His
Circle,
dad
yeah.
and his cousin, the one that he does the podcast with, I think they were going to be on The Circle, and they were going to catfish as Tommy. But then last minute it fell through, and then he ended up doing this show with his dad. So apparently the setup is going to be like it. If you look at the games, they're very like, it's like, think Tiny Veto. It's like little
It's like
games
Minute
that
to
you're
Win
gonna,
It, isn't it?
yes, it's like
Yeah.
all these games, and then there's 100 people, so you have to be the last one standing. So, and based on the like promos, it looks like it gets kind of actually emotional. So I'm willing to watch it. I'm willing to give it a chance. I don't normally like stuff that's solely about competition, not about strategy, but it might be something to like take the edge off,
I will wait and hear what your thoughts are about it,
Okay.
and then decide if I'll watch it on like a Hulu or something of that nature
Okay.
afterwards.
And then, like I said, Mark Ballas is on the Traders. We watched that. I think we're both probably rooting for Rob Sesternino. We have both given him so many hours of our life over the years that I don't know how we couldn't. I'm really hoping.
Go ahead.
With Ian Terry. I'm
Yes.
really hoping, because here's the thing about Ian. Ian is not going to be socially
outgoing.
And so I think Rob will be. And Ian can be a really good mole for you. And I think Rob, because he knows Rob is going to go in there and want to do a Gamers Alliance. I really think so, but he's not going to call it that. He's not going to make it obvious.
Because on RHAP, they cover so many reality TV shows, and he's well informed on all of them because he kind of pops in from time to time on all of them. And so like he has a good understanding of all of these people. Probably the one he has the least understanding of is Donna Kelsey. Like, genuinely. So I don't know if he would go straight for a gamers only situation.
I think that there is no doubt in my mind that Donna Kelsey will be cast as a traitor. She's going to be cast as a traitor. They wouldn't put her on that show not to. Like, if you're going to put her on that show, you're going to make her a traitor because you want people to tune in. I also think Rob Cesternino has a shot at being cast as a traitor. I don't want him to be. I would prefer he be brought in midway as a traitor as
I think
opposed to beginning.
I think that Tiffany Mitchell has a stronger shot than Rob of being a traitor, but I think Rob is still in the running to be the gamer.
That's if they believe Tiffany is the player that you and I believe she is, because there's a lot of people that
Correct.
don't believe that,
Correct.
And I think, Alan Cummings has come out and said, like, yes, there are some pre-decisions that are made and, like, ideas, but I don't make my final decision until, and I do think he has a heavy hand. He's not like Julie Chen. Like,
No.
he has a hand. He's more like Jeff
Jeff.
Probst. Like,
Yeah.
he has a hand in some of that decision, and I do think that they leave it open. I also think that there are some people that have it in their contracts that they are not coming. Like, I do not believe Dan Giesling was willing to do the traders without being a traitor.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
believe
think
you
for a
because
second.
I would have to go back and rewatch, but I swear I remember Brittany saying last year that she went in believing she was going to be a traitor based on like how casting was going, and then there was a switch up between like her and Danielle, or maybe her and Carolyn. I can't remember. One of the originals, they had originally said they wanted to be a faithful, and then they ended up changing their mind, and so Alan went with that person instead of Brittany. Like, I remember there being something about that. But I can't remember exactly.
You're right. It was Danielle.
Was it? Okay.
Yes, Danielle also said this, I think on her Instagram or something. She made a video about it. She went in believing, so she had been telling production that she wanted to be a faithful. And then somebody in her family, her mom or somebody said, "What if Brittany's there?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh." And she realized in that moment that she needed to, and then when she got there, she changed. She said that she thinks that Alan was shocked when she said that she wanted to be a traitor because she had been consistent. And that goes back to me believing, this confirms what I believe is true. I don't think we have never seen somebody beg to be one thing and like, other than, yes, you can only have so many traitors. So yes, more people are going to beg to be a traitor than not. But somebody is, if they go in saying, I want to be a faithful, they're not going to make them a traitor, because what good of TV is that going to be to force somebody to do something that they don't want to do? It's like watching Ava
Exactly.
play Big Brother. We don't want to watch it anymore.
Correct.
Anyways, so yeah, you are correct about that. It was Danielle. So if Brittany talked about that on her Patreon, then that makes me confirm what Danielle believed definitely must be true. But yeah, I don't think that. I think Dan Giesling probably wanted to have it in his contract. Like, I am only coming back to be a traitor, and as he should have been. I do
Yeah.
think that that's the best position for him.
He would have been named as one whether he was or not. Like, people would have called him out for it no matter what, so you might as well go ahead and just own it and be it and try and have a semblance of control.
I'm really happy we don't have any challengers this year. So
I thought you were going to say, I'm happy we don't have Carolyn, and I was going to say, yep.
Yeah. Wait, who was it? Oh, I should remember when we were. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're about to say, because I had to keep. Yeah, because I just had to be like.
You and I were like. Inside jokes. Okay. So, yeah. So, Carolyn's not there. But I was most glad to not have any challengers. Here's the deal. These challengers, I don't know why they keep putting challengers on here acting like. Now, I get it. What's her name? Trishelle and CT. They did great. They really did. But that's an outlier. That's
and they're
when
like,
Wes went on there, when
like, even though people call Wes OG, he is not as OG as CT and Trishelle.
My understanding, the OG seasons had some strategy in
correct.
them. Now, here's what I will say. I only knew Wes from House of Villains first.
Right.
But I was already skeptical about what he was going to be like because of how bitter he was on House of Villains. I could tell that he didn't know how to play a strategy game, other than making that fake idol. That I was shocked that they let him do that. But they let him make a fake idol, and I'm sure that wasn't his idea. I'm sure someone in production told him to do it. When he was in that cage and he said to Ion, she was like, "And who are you again?" And he was like offended that she didn't know. And then he was like, "I'm from the challenge." She's like, "What's the challenge?" She's like, "I'm going to help you." He's like, "I'm going to help you win challenges like this." And I went, we're dealing with somebody that doesn't even know the traders. Now, I'm not sure if that was filmed before House of Villains or not. I don't know. But I could tell in that moment, I was like, he doesn't know anything about the traders, because these little challenges are just fictitious. Like, They mean nothing.
Have they ever lost a challenge?
No. I'm sure it's in Brittany's contract. She's not allowed to tell you guys if they,
Yeah, and they watch. There was someone from production that subscribed to her Patreon to babysit it, and that's how you know that other podcast that of someone that we were just talking about and how that ended, they had production people watching in there as well. So,
Yeah, because there was an episode that got removed of that one, I think.
correct.
Yeah, no. So I just don't. Anybody that watches that show knows that those challenges don't mean anything unless you're a super casual viewer. You've only watched The Housewives, and I would love for them to get okay. So now that they're doing the one that we all would love to be a part of, the newbies season on CBS. Now that they're doing that, I would love for them to do a gamers only season, a housewife only season. Both would be entertaining in their own regard, but it's difficult watching these gamers try and convince the housewives to be in an alliance.
Because they don't know how to
God,
game. They don't get the
that
point.
was what was so great about Dylan. It's like he wasn't a reality person. However,
he adapted.
Was a fan and he knew shows like that. He
Mm-hmm.
watched Survivor, I know. I'm not sure about Big Brother, but I know he was a Survivor fan. I know he was a Traitors fan. So, anyways, and then House of Villains. I don't know about you, but I will be watching House of Villains. That will probably be around. I think they're going to compete that with the Traitors, honestly,
which is wild since they're on the same network now.
Yeah, but all they're telling us is early 2026. Now they might drop on different days though.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah,
I do think I'm going to watch House of Villains this year. Last year it was just hard for me to be able to find it to watch it timely. So I was like, nah, I don't care to fight for my life to watch this television show. But now that it's just going to drop on Peacock, I think I will watch it this season.
You should. I think that you should probably, if you do want to go back and watch any of the others, you should probably do it quickly. Okay. I just think you should do it quickly if you were going to, only because I feel like E is going away. And I don't know how much longer
but remember
they'll be
we
allowed
talked
to
about
keep
this.
those episodes.
E is owned by NBC, so it's just going to stay on Peacock. It's just going to all be absorbed.
True. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what we plan to watch. Anything else that you plan to watch or plan to do or want to keep up with on the pod for the new season? We're going to try and do a weekly episode, but
we're moms.
Our real followers
we got kids.
know that
if we got time, we got time. This is basically so what I was going to say to answer your question is I don't really necessarily know that I have additional shows that I'm going to be watching. I am excited for Big Brother to end so I can get back into reading a little bit more consistently, because throughout the Big Brother season, I have completed exactly 2 books and that is it. The reading goal is struggling for this year of 2025. I think I've given up on it at this point. It's just not going to happen, but whatever. We'll see what we can finish out in the remainder of the year. So as far as TV shows, I don't know, but also we just talk about whatever on this podcast. We will talk about the TV shows we just mentioned, but this is also our FaceTime
trending
call.
Yeah, and
sometimes we get a little bit too comfortable.
Last year I was engrossed in the Karen Reed trial, and Karen Reed 3.0 is about to start on Monday, so if something pops off, I'm gonna bring it to the table.
Exactly. So when we have time and when we have things to talk about, we jump on, we give you an episode, and it is what it is. We try our best to make it happen weekly, but sometimes life be lifing. So
yeah, and our cadence, we try our best to have an episode on Monday or Tuesday at the worst every week. So we try and film at some point Friday night. If that doesn't happen, we try to hop on Saturday or Sunday, which was a big reason why during Big Brother season we decided it would just be better to not even attempt it, because those were prime feed watching times.
Correct. So. Yeah.
But yeah, so
in
thank
fact,
you guys.
As of now, we have missed the nomination ceremony.
We have, but we already know who it is. So
correct. That's correct. And we also, so unfortunately, have missed BB Unlocked.
Intentionally was okay with that.
I was being
sarcastic.
The
only thing I would be interested in watching it for is Brittany Haynes, and I know clips will be brought to TikTok because anything she does gets clipped because she's hilarious.
I am less excited to watch that part, and I will tell you why after the recording is over, because it is Patreon chat tea.
All right. Well, we better hurry up and wrap this up so I can get the tea. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I am Reality Allie on TikTok and pretty much all socials. I have Blue Sky, I have Twitter, IG, YouTube. Nicola and I both are really trying to expand our YouTubes. But during Big Brother season, that got really hard.
Yeah.
So I will go back to I have a Survivor series. I'm trying to get all those
Same.
videos edited and posted before Survivor 50 starts. So
49.
No, 50.
No, this is 50. Yeah.
Mine are related to 50. The one that's on right now is 49. Yeah, so I've been trying to really grow my YouTube channel because, like you mentioned, we don't know about TikTok, and that's where most of both of our followers are. Check us out everywhere.
Yeah, my actual username on TikTok and YouTube, because those are really the only two platforms that I consistently use, is bookishtv.niklyn, Niklyn. And I really did fall off of the YouTube train during the Big Brother season. Unfortunately, the freaking 3-minute time frame for shorts, I talk
It
too
got too
much for
hard.
that. Yeah, it was
It
just
got too hard
ridiculous.
with live feeds.
Yes.
Okay,
I
let me
had
just
so
say
much
this.
to say.
I went into this season going, okay, I'm going to try to make all my videos under 3 minutes so that I can just cross post them.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is not going to work because
No.
then I started doing some parts and
Yeah,
people
you got eaten
hated me.
alive.
They drug me. They were like, you don't need to do all this. This is too much. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, okay, I'll just make a 10-minute video and I'll split up in parts for YouTube. And they were like, we don't want a 10-minute video. I was like, so what do you want? So then I just stopped giving as much detail.
Yep.
I decided they hate me, I suck, and I will just give them what I want to give them. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been working out great. So anyway, so that's why I fell off of the shorts, because I knew I quickly realized probably like week 3, I was like, I'm too behind on giving them long form. It ain't happening. So I was gonna do shorts, and then like I said, that just
I did a lot of long
work out.
form preseason. I didn't ever start long form during the actual season because I was like, let me see how I am with shorts first. And then when that fell off, I was like, okay, screw it. But I actually have been actively planning a lot of really fun content around not only reality TV and books, but also upcoming holidays. If you are someone that used to love like 13 Nights of Halloween on ABC Family back in the day, need a little bit of nostalgia, I have a treat and maybe some tricks for you on my YouTube channel coming up in the month of October. So definitely check it out.
We'll check that out because I was a fan of all of those things.
Excited.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, this video is going to be longer than this podcast episode is going to be longer than we intended. And that is something that we do every time.
Every single time. This one was supposed to be 15 minutes. We're now at 45 minutes.
I think we said loosely 15 to 30 max.
And still went over.
Yeah, we sure as hell did. But that's okay. It's okay. We didn't actually, just to fill you in, I sat here and I go, what are we going to talk about? And then I was like, yeah, we forgot to talk about what we planned the time that we were going to do this. But never
that was it.
The content. And then Nicolette even suggested that we make this 5 minutes. And if you rewind your thoughts, I didn't even comment back because I was like, girl, you already know it ain't gonna be no 5 minutes.
Right. I don't know what I was thinking.
You were like, we'll just introduce ourselves and that'll be it. I was like,
yeah, sure. Yeah. Never works that way.
Okay, well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will hopefully see you next week.